Don't you just hate it when there's something in your camera shot that shouldn't be there? Like a logo of some distracting brand. Let's see how we can easily remove that by using basic techniques and After Effects.
Here's a shot of a woman walking out of a store, and it shows a Jack & Jones logo on top. Unfortunately, we weren't allowed to use that, so I had to remove it. This is a fairly easy process, but sometimes we get in a situation like this. In the background, there's a runner. Look how the runner and his reflection in the water are distracting. So again, we remove the runner in the background, but this is also a lot more complex. Yet, it isn't. In both videos, I applied the same technique. Only with the runner, it was a lot more time-consuming to get the details right. But let's keep it short in this tutorial for beginners and have a look at the Jack & Jones clip. I'm inside After Effects, and in my project panel, I've got a clip right here. I'm going to drag that into my composition to create a new composition, and so that it's added to a timeline. So right here, we're going to focus on this logo over here. We would like to remove that. So the first thing that we have to do is track the camera movement, because like in Photoshop, it's fairly easy. We just select that logo and replace it with something else, but in here we have a moving video. That means we also have to calculate everything what the camera does. So to do that, I'm going to bring up my tracker, and we can do that from the menu, select Window, and select Tracker. And that will open up a new window from where we can select Track Motion. Click on that from that menu, and that will give you this tracking point. Now, the first thing I always do is make that tracking point a lot bigger, like so that we can see what we're doing, and then we can bring that tracking point to a point that we would like to track, like the name says. And in this case, it's the logo, because we would like to remove this logo up here. So we're going to bring that tracking point to there. And you will see as you're moving that tracking point, it automatically zooms in somehow, so that it's easier for us to focus on a certain point. And I'm just going to lay it right in the middle here of this red square, like so. Now, as you can see, we've got two squares. The inner one is the one that's going to select the point that we would like to track, so make that a bit smaller so that it covers somehow that red dot between Jack and Jones, like so. And then we have the outer section, and in this section, the tracker is going to search for information. It's going to use the information around it to make its tracking happen. Now, the bigger you put this, usually the better your tracking will be, but it's also going to be a lot harder for your computer to render all of that information. It's going to take a lot more time. So that's something you have to see what your computer can handle or not. In this case, we can just place it beautifully around that logo, like so. And now we can start tracking. And I'm just going to put this a little bit bigger, like so that we can see all the options in here. From here, we then down below have the Analyze buttons. We've got the Play button, and we've got the Step Forward button. If we click on that Step Forward button, it's only going to analyze the next frame. And if we click on the Play button, it will just analyze while playing the video. And let me just do that. Hopefully, it will do its thing right. If you see if your tracker is going wild at some point, then reset your tracker and do it again, and just make your outer rectangle a lot bigger. Alright, the tracking is done, and you can also see the path of the tracking right here. Now that the tracking is done, we have to assign this information, so all these tracking points, to a certain object. And we're going to take a null object for that. A null object is actually an object that doesn't do anything. It's a null, a nothing object, but we can assign information to it. So it's perfect for tracking information. And we can make one of those layers if we go up in the menu, select Layer, New, and then select the null object, and it will add to your timeline, as you can see. And then from the Tracker menu, again, we're going to say Edit Target. So just click on that. To which object would we like the information to add to, and from here we're going to select that layer, null1, which is the null object, press OK, and then just press Apply. And from here, make sure that you select the X and Y for the dimensions, and then just press OK. And now the null object has that information. And you can also see that when I'm going to play or scrub through my video. Set this to full for a moment here so that you can see the full quality. You will see that a null object sticks to that object. And that's exactly what we want. Always when you're going to remove something in your image, you always have to track the camera. That's your first step. We always talk about removing a logo, but in reality we are actually hiding it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And in this case, we would just like to have some wall up here. And there's plenty of wall right here. So we can just take a piece from here and paste it on top of that. And to do that, the first thing you want to do is select your clip and just duplicate it. And the easiest way to do that is just on your keyboard, select Ctrl D, or for the Mac users, Command D, and that will duplicate the layer. And now just cut out a piece from it. And again, the easiest way to do that is with the masking tool. And we've got two masking tools up here. We've got the pen tool, which allows us to freely create a mask or a path, or we can also use one of the presets here, like the rectangle tool, the rounded rectangle tool, ellipse tool, etc. If you click and hold your mouse, by the way, you can bring up this menu. I'm going to select the rectangle tool, and I'm going to grab a piece out of this wall right here. There we go. And now, just take your arrow tool again, and take that piece of wall and just drag that on top of the Jack and Jones logo. And already you can see that the effect is working great. And when I'm going to play this right now, you will see that something is going wrong at a certain point. And that's because we haven't used the tracking information yet. So go back to the beginning of your clip where everything looks good. And what we want to do now is actually parent clip number 1 to the null object, which holds the camera movement or the tracking information. And we can do that very easy with this small icon right here from the parent column. So just take that and drag the line to that null object. And now it will use the tracking information from the null object. And when I'm going to play it right now, it will actually stick on that same place. But there's something else going on. The piece that we've cut out from here is also moving. We're still talking in video here. So we cannot forget to also freeze that frame. Go back to the beginning or to a certain point where it looks good, then right-click on your clip, go to Time, and select Freeze Frame. And now everything is done. And when I'm now going to play this clip, you will see that the logo is gone. Now, sometimes you want to play with the masked object. When I'm going to zoom in right here, you might see a little line around this rectangle, and that's because we actually have very hard edges. And to fix that, you just open up the mask from your clip. So in here you can find masks, mask 1, and right here you can just feather the edge a bit. So bring this to around 5 pixels, 10 pixels, depending on your needs, and then it will not be so visible anymore. Also, sometimes due to lighting or shadows, you will see that the colors won't really match if you take a piece of wall from a different place. And to fix that, I think the easiest way is just by using the curves. So go to your Effects and Presets folder, and from here, just look for the curves. Drag that to your clip, and then you can change the lighting of it. So as you can see, I can make it darker. Of course, now it's pretty visible that there is something removed. But sometimes you do need to bring up this line or bring it down to make it a bit darker.
That was it for this video tutorial. Don't forget that you can download this project file as well. You can find a link to it from the description below. Thanks for watching and stay creative.